My coworker teased my basic office desk decorations, saying, "Where's your creativity?" Then her over-the-top setup fell off the desk. I handed her a roll of tape and said, "Guess basic has its benefits." Her reaction was golden. I walked into the office on Monday morning, coffee in one hand, my bag in the other, already bracing myself for the usual nonsense that came with the start of the workweek. The air smelled like a mix of cheap vanilla air freshener and whatever someone microwaved for breakfast, probably eggs. The office was waking up, computers booting, people yawning, the printer already jamming. Just another day. I made it about 3 steps toward my desk before I heard it. Ugh, seriously? I turned my head, and there she was. Mallory. Standing next to my desk, staring at it like it had personally offended her. Now, let me explain something about Mallory. She started working here 6 months ago, and from day one, she made it very clear that she was one of those people who thought good vibes were more important than actual work. The kind of person who'd spend half her day adjusting the lighting on her desk instead of answering emails. The kind of person who thought a job was just an extension of her personal aesthetic. Her workspace was insane. Imagine walking into a teenager's TikTok live stream. That's what her cubicle looked like. String lights. Fake ivy hanging down like she was living in a greenhouse. A neon pink sign with her name in cursive, glowing so bright you could see it from the break room. A tiny fountain bubbling water onto a little pile of fake rocks. There was even a diffuser puffing out some kind of lavender mist that made the whole area smell like an overstock store. And the trinkets. So many pointless little decorations crammed onto every available inch of space. Miniature figurines, inspirational quote plaques, ceramic cats, and a snow globe that played music. It was a mess. In comparison, my desk was simple. A clean, organized surface. A small plant. A framed picture of my dog. A lamp. A pen holder. That was it. Functional. Neat. No distractions. I liked it that way. But apparently, Mallory had made it her mission to remind me how much she hated it. Every single day, she had some smart remark about my desk. God, where's your personality? You should really add some pizzazz in here. It looks like an IT guy's station. Are you okay? This looks so lifeless. It was always said in that fake sweet voice, the kind where she pretended she was just being friendly, but you could tell she wanted people to laugh. Sometimes they did. I didn't care at first, but after weeks of hearing it, I was over it. That Monday morning, though, she took it a step further. I hadn't even sat down yet when she sighed dramatically and said, "You know, we should all take up a collection to help you decorate this poor, sad little desk." Loud enough that everyone around us could hear. A couple of people chuckled. Even our manager, Deb, smirked. I just forced a smile and took a sip of my coffee. Not worth it. Mallory, of course, was loving the attention. She flipped her hair over her shoulder and leaned against my desk like she was doing me a favor by making fun of me. Seriously, OP, don't you want to enjoy your workspace? Imagine sitting here all day, staring at this. She waved a hand over my desk like it was a pile of garbage. I just stared at her. She sighed like she was dealing with a lost cause and said, "You know what? I'm going to help you. I'll bring in some extra decorations tomorrow. I have so many cute things you could use. Maybe even some fairy lights. I mean, come on, it's 2024, not a call center from 1999. I didn't say anything. Just nodded. Because at that moment, I decided something. I was going to let karma handle this one. And, oh. Did it ever? That same afternoon, right after lunch, it happened. I was walking back to my desk when I heard the sound. A weird mix of snapping, clattering, and something thudding onto a surface. Then, Mallory screaming. I turned the corner and stopped dead in my tracks. Her entire over-the-top, ridiculous desk setup was collapsing. The LED strip lights had peeled off from the cubicle walls, leaving behind gross, half-stuck adhesive that dangled uselessly. The fake ivy was hanging off the edge, half of it draped over her keyboard. The neon sign. Face down, one side cracked. The stupid fountain. Leaking all over her mouse pad, forming a sad little puddle on her desk. And the trinkets? Scattered. Everywhere. Some had rolled onto the floor, some had bounced into neighboring cubicles. I saw one ceramic cat shattered near her chair. The snow globe was wedged awkwardly between her monitor and the wall, stuck at an angle like it had tried to make a break for it and failed. Mallory was frantically grabbing at things, but the more she moved, the worse it got. She yanked too hard on a cord, which knocked over a stack of notebooks. When she tried to catch them, she bumped her desk, making the last of the ivy slip off completely. It was absolute destruction. People were staring. Someone gasped. Another person, one of the guys from IT, was struggling not to laugh. Mallory, red-faced and furious, turned to me, eyes wide and desperate. And this was my moment. I slowly reached into my desk drawer, pulled out a roll of tape, and placed it gently on her desk. Then I looked her dead in the eye and said, "Guess Basic has its benefits." For a split second, the entire office seemed to pause. Like time itself had frozen in the aftermath of Mallory's desk apocalypse. Then, somewhere behind me, Deb snorted. Someone tried to muffle a laugh. The IT guy gave up entirely. He was shaking so hard with silent laughter that his chair creaked. Mallory, though, oh, she wasn't laughing. Her face was so red I thought she might actually burst into flames. Her mouth opened, then closed, then opened again, but no words came out. Just this weird choking noise like she was too angry to function. I thought that was it. I thought karma had done its job. I was so wrong. Because if there's one thing I didn't realize about Mallory back then, it's that she wasn't the kind of person to take an L and move on. No, Mallory was the type to double down. And she did. For the next few days, she was quiet. Too quiet. I expected her to make some snarky comeback, but she didn't. She just avoided me. Didn't even look in my direction. Which, honestly, fine by me. But then things started happening. It started small. One morning, I came in and noticed my chair felt weird. Lower than usual. I adjusted it, didn't think much of it, until it kept happening. Every single morning, my chair was mysteriously lowered all the way down. Then my monitor angle kept changing. Then my pens went missing. Then the picture of my dog disappeared. I knew it was her. But I couldn't prove it. So I just waited. And then, one Friday, I got my proof. I had stayed late the night before to finish a report. The next morning, I walked in a little earlier than usual, and there she was. Standing at my desk. Holding my stapler. She froze. I froze. For a solid 3 seconds, we just stared at each other, like two deer caught in headlights. Then, like a damn cartoon villain, she slowly set the stapler back down. "Morning," she said, way too casual. I smiled. "Morning." She grabbed her coffee and practically sprinted back to her desk. I waited until she sat down, took a slow sip of my coffee, and then, *** loud enough *** for the whole office to hear, ***, I said, "Hey Mallory, thanks for watching my stapler." Thought I lost it. She visibly twitched. The IT guy. Lost it again. Deb shook her head, smirking into her coffee. Someone in the back let out an actual wheeze. Mallory? She didn't say a word. Just turned back to her computer and ignored me the rest of the day. I thought that was the end of it. But no. Mallory wasn't done yet. Because the very next Monday, HR called me in. When I saw the email from HR, I actually laughed. Of course she ran to them. Of course she did. I pictured her sitting at her desk, seething, trying to figure out how to get back at me after getting humiliated twice. She must have thought this was her big power move. So I grabbed my coffee and strolled into the HR office like I had all the time in the world. Inside, our HR rep, Monica, was sitting at her desk with that polite but exhausted expression that all HR people have. Across from her, Mallory. Arms crossed, eyes smug, like she had already won. I sat down and waited. Monica sighed and folded her hands. "So, there's been a complaint," she said, sounding like she wanted to be anywhere but here. Mallory sat up straighter. "Yes. I've been feeling very uncomfortable at work." I almost snorted. She continued, "There have been multiple times where OP has made passive-aggressive comments toward me. It's created a really hostile environment." She even sighed dramatically like she was trying to make herself sound sad instead of bitter. Monica nodded, making notes. "Can you give an example?" Mallory immediately launched into her version of events. "OP has been making fun of my workspace. They've made multiple sarcastic remarks about my decorations. The other day, my desk setup accidentally fell, and instead of helping, OP just mocked me. They even encouraged people to laugh at me. I let her talk. I let her dig her own grave. When she finally finished, I leaned back and said, "That's not what happened." Monica turned to me. "So, what's your side?" And that's when I pulled out my ace. Because, see, I wasn't stupid. After Mallory started messing with my stuff, I set up a security camera app on my work laptop. Nothing fancy, just a program that used my webcam to take photos every few minutes. The perfect low-key way to catch her in the act. And it worked. I pulled up the folder on my phone, scrolled through the pictures, and placed my phone on Monica's desk. Then I said, I think this explains more than I can. Monica picked up my phone and immediately frowned. The pictures showed everything. Mallory messing with my chair. Mallory moving my pens. Mallory swiping my picture frame and hiding it behind her desk. And, of course, Mallory standing at my desk, holding my stapler, caught red-handed. She went pale. Monica slowly looked up at her. Mallory. Did you take OP's belongings? Mallory panicked. No, I was just, Monica held up a hand. Stop. Mallory shut up. Monica sighed, looking so done with everything. Then she turned to me. Thank you for bringing this in. I nodded. No problem. Then Monica turned back to Mallory. And what she said next? Pure gold. Mallory, I think it's best if you take the rest of the day off. Mallory's mouth fell open. What? But, HR will follow up with you about next steps, Monica said, already writing something down. We take workplace misconduct seriously. Tampering with a coworker's space is not acceptable. Mallory looked at me like she wanted to murder me on the spot. I just gave her a small, polite smile. She stormed out. By the time I got back to my desk, the whole office knew. Apparently, Mallory had been in the break room ranting to anyone who would listen about how she was going to HR to report me. So when she came back, grabbed her bag, and practically ran for the exit, everyone knew it backfired. And the best part? Deb walked by my desk, tossed a roll of tape onto it, and said, "Guess Basic has its benefits." The whole office cracked up. Mallory never came back.